Welcome everybody to, I think this is the third of our family diplomacy dialogues this year. From March to November, we are doing these dialogues every month on the first Sunday of every month. And we have some new folks joining us. So I think we should probably go around before we get into the presentations. We should go around and have our respective everybody introduce themselves. Um, I think Chia, we're waiting on Chia. Chia may be joining us. There he is. Uh, so, but let's start briefly with introductions. I think all of you know me, Paul Lashley, the founder and the director of Learning Life. Tice, do you want to start? Introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. I'm Thais. I live in Ashburn, Virginia, which is about 35 minutes west of Washington, D.C. My son is an intern with Learning Life, which is how I learned about this beautiful initiative. And we're a family of five, and the oldest son is living in Pensacola, where he's in flight school for the Marine Corps, and the youngest daughter is a sixth grader.
That's a range, Tice. Um,
Tell
on the kids.
me about it.
Nusrat, who's one of our speakers, joining us from Bangladesh.
Hello. Yeah.
Just briefly introduce yourself. I mean, you're going to be talking soon, but if you can briefly just tell
Yes.
people who you are.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Nusrat, and I'm from Bangladesh. And more specifically, I live in Borishal, which is situated in the southern part of Bangladesh. And about my family, right now I'm living alone, but my family, I mean, my parents, they're living just 10 minutes distance from my home. And my husband, he's still living in another city because of his work purpose. So it's like that. And yeah, and by profession, I'm a chemist, but right now I'm not working in any company or anywhere because I have a very different plan about my profession and my career. So yeah, that's briefly about me.
And I think what nobody other than me and maybe Joe here, and I can't remember. I think Juliana, you may know this, and Chia, but Nusrat is a two-time Guinness Book of World Records.
I'm going to share this story today.
Oh, you are.
I
Okay. All
included
right. So,
this.
so
Yeah.
sorry. So we're
Yeah.
we're coming back to this. Okay. Brenna.
Sure. Hello. Good afternoon, morning, whatever time it is where you all are. I'm Brenna Ulrich. I am a new board member for Learning Life and so excited to be joining today. This is my first family diplomacy dialogue that I've been able to join in on. I am located in Washington, D.C. I live alone, but my family is from Michigan, which is in the kind of north central part of the United States. And I'm excited to hear from y'all today.
Great. Thanks, Brenna. We have a number of interns with us. Some of them are new interns coming on this summer, and then some of them are interns just finishing up their internships. Why don't we have Angel introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Angel. I'm the new intern from late March, and now currently I'm in Washington, D.C. for my exchange program, and I'm a third year student studying UC San Diego for sociology.
But originally from China, and where in China?
Oh, I'm from China and I'm in North China, close to the capital Beijing. And there's four member of my family. So yeah, and currently I'm only me here in US and all my like my parents and my younger brother are in China.
Great. Thanks, Angel. Justin, one of our coming in new interns coming on this summer.
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Justin Ingui. I am currently in New York City, but I am a junior at Michigan, and I will be an intern this summer. And yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Great. I'm going to go back and forth between interns leaving and interns coming on board. Mari.
Hi everyone, I'm Mari. I'm a sophomore at Columbia University, and I've been an intern with Learning Life since January. This will be my last meeting with Learning Life. Very sad to go, but um, my family's from the Philippines. I'm from California, but I'm in New York right now for school. So yeah, and I'm majoring in poli-sci and philosophy. So nice to meet everyone.
Great. And I think Itai was with us here, and I don't see him on this screen, but Itai would be joining us from Zimbabwe, but I think he's usually has connection issues. Anyway, let me see here. Adrian, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good day to everybody. My name is Adrian Mata. Thais Jones is my mom. She presented earlier. It's a pleasure to be here, and I am, along with some others, finishing up my internship with Learning Life. It's bittersweet. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and it's a sad time. But yeah, I'm currently in DC at American University studying international relations and Spanish. Thank you for having me.
Oh, and you guys don't get to leave because we've started an alumni group for Learning Life on LinkedIn, so we're gonna keep in touch with you whether you like it or not.
That's true.
Um, Juliana joining us from Brazil. Oh, you're muted. Let me see if I can. Ah, you may have issue. You may have issue. I think she's got issues with the sound. So if you, Juliana, just introduce yourself. If you haven't, yes, output is not good. I won't be able to speak today. But if you can just briefly introduce yourself in the Zoom chat, that would be great. Um, Juliana is one of our family diplomats. Has been with us for at least a year. I think it's a year and a half. And so great to have her with us. And she's actually presented on her family previously last year, I think, but we'll hear more at some point. Madeline, who is one of our incoming interns.
Hi, everyone. Like you said, hi, I'm Madeline. I'm coming from Hamilton, New York currently, but usually I'm from Salem, Oregon, so I'll be returning there this summer. But yeah, super excited to intern. I'm a political science and educational studies major here at Colgate University.
Great. Jocelyn.
Is the audio okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jocelyn Vasquez. I'm from California. I'm from the UCLA campus. I'm majoring in sociology, and I'm about halfway through my internship here with the I'll be leaving somewhat soon too, but I'm very excited for today's meeting.
Great. Yeah, Jocelyn and Angel are on a different schedule, so they're halfway through their internships. Um, Zainab is joining us this summer.
Hi. Hi everyone. My name is Zainab. I'm a sophomore at Columbia studying political science, and I'm excited to be interning with Learning Life this summer.
Great. I am going to jump to one of our family diplomats joining us from Turkey, Begum. I always get the, I
Yes,
can't.
there are dots, but I just use so of the old family diplomats. I'm a researcher. Also, I do my best to join the activities of Learning Life because I think I just learned first about Learning Life on social media like 4 years ago, and since then I have been, joining all the citizen in diplomacy international activities and these dialogues. It's really helpful, to learn more about the.
Yeah, so Begum's connection, your connection wasn't perfect, but a couple things to mention about Begum. So she is one of our family diplomats, but she's also, I don't know if you mentioned it, but a member of our board of advisors as well. Um, Joe. Oh, you're muted.
Hi, I'm Joe Tolles. A member of the board for Learning Life. I'm a therapist, and I have 10 children, which I adopted, and their age ranges are 19 to 36.
Well, you went from 8 to 10?
I always had 10. There, 7 kids were adopted from foster care. One was an adult adoption, and two are moral adoptions.
Gotcha. Okay. I know about the 8, did not know about the moral adoptions.
Yeah.
But yes, so Joe is has been one of our family diplomats and it sits on our board of directors. Lucine.
Hi everyone, I'm from California and I recently just finished my degree at the University of Southern, no, sorry, the University of California, San Diego. And I studied international studies with a focus in political science. And I also just finished up my internship with Learning Life. And it's really nice seeing people I've seen before and nice to meet new faces as well.
Thanks, Lucine. Um, Last but not least, Chia, who is joining us from Cameroon. And we are going to jump into the presentations. And I'm just wondering if Nusrat or Chia, who among you wants to go first?
I think I can go first.
Okay. All right. So Chia, if you could just quickly introduce yourself, Chia, and then we'll come back to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Chia Terence, presently in the Abu Dhabi, UAE from Cameroon. I have been participating for almost since 2021. Yeah.
Great. And but from Cameroon, but in living in the United Arab Emirates, and he'll tell us more about his family in a moment. So Nusrat, you're first. You guys each, I just want to remind everybody the process here. We'll have 2 presentations, each 5 minutes. I'm gonna actually ask Lucine, can you do me the favor of tracking time? And I think Adrian, you're tracking attendance, right? Excellent. And then Jocelyn, are you helping with attendance as needed? Okay, excellent. So you guys are on the that sheet. So we're tracking attendance and participation. Lucine is also, if you can help, just take screenshots. Lucine and Angel, can you take screenshots as well? Both like in speaker mode and in viewer, all the group mode. I think it'll be good to have like lots of screenshots, and then just email me your screenshots if you would. So we'll have Nusrat go first. She's going to speak for 5 minutes. Then we're going to discuss. I encourage you to write your comments and questions in the Zoom chat while they're presenting. And then so we'll discuss, and then we'll have Chia go, and then we'll discuss. And at the end, I'm going to just make an announcement, some brief announcement. So. Nusrat, you are first, and I think in both cases you guys are sharing slides. But actually, hold on, before I forget, I need to take a photo of everybody. Totally forgot about this, but if you could all make sure to have your cameras on. Chia, I need your camera on for a moment at least. Um, and on 3, I'm going to ask you to smile. Um, and husband is joining from fantastic. This is good. We need more fa actual families. I couldn't get my partner to I like asked her twice. She's like, "No, I got work to do, blah blah blah." Anyway, all right. On 3, 1, 2, 3, smile. Fantastic. Let me just make sure the photo looks good. Oh, you guys are very photogenic. Fantastic. Awesome. Um, all right, Nusrat, you are set to go.
Yeah, I just turned off my video because I'm using a smartphone, so I think I will be more comfortable if I turned off the video because at the same time I'm gonna show the slides.
Yep.
Okay. Is my slide visible?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna start from my family, and I already introduced myself. So this is the picture of me and my mother, and I'm the only child of my parents. So my mother, she is almost 50, but she looks more older. It's because of her illness, and she has been suffering from COPD, which is like chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. So that's why she's not looking very healthy. And this picture was just random. I took this picture maybe last year when I visited my parents. So this is the picture. And my father, I don't have actually a lot of photos with my father, because I can say like my father, he was a migrant worker since my childhood. So we have a little gap between us, and I'm not very easy and open with my father. So, and also we have some, I would say like we have a very different opinions regarding different types. So that's why I think, yeah, so I don't have a lot of photos with him. Maybe I have, but right now I can't just show. Yeah. And the next picture, and this is the picture of me and my in-laws family members, and it was after achieving my first Guinness World Record. And this picture was taken in my sister-in-law's home. And the picture, if I describe, and the person who is sitting on the floor, and he's my nephew, and then from left corner, and they both are my sister-in-law, and then it's my mother-in-law, then it's me, and then again it's my sister-in-law, and then it's my husband. And it was the event when I was like I just gave some interview to the media, and the media, they were asking the opinions how my family feels, I mean in-laws family feels after achieving my first Guinness World Record. So that moment we took this picture. Usually they don't like to take pictures, and they're not even comfortable of taking pictures. So that's the picture I can say. And the next picture is the picture of me and my husband. It was after achieving my second Guinness World Record, and it was just a random photo shoot that we did after just having the record immediately. And then we just took some pictures, and I would say my husband helped me a lot to achieve this, because every time when I need any sort of tools to break my Guinness World Record, I ask help to him. And I think every time he supports me, and he helped me to collect all the tools and everything that I need. And I think it's one of my passion to break Guinness World Records. And also I love gaining skills, and still I'm on the process. I have a goal to break more Guinness World Record in the future. And yeah, so that's about the picture. And the next picture, it's about my grandmother, and this picture was taken long time ago, and it's I think it's been more than 15 years or 13 years. We took this photo, and my grandmother, she's late, and I can still remember my grandmother. She really liked taking photos, and we had several photos at that time, even though we didn't have a much good camera at that moment. But we had a smartphone in my family at that moment, and my grandmother, she was always asking to take photos with me, even though we had a very I would say like different family patterns. I mean, we had a very different issues among my families, but in that case my grandmother, she really liked taking photos. So I have some of the photos of her with me, and it was at that time, and I think maybe it was when I maybe studied at the grade of 12th. So yeah, so that was the pictures. So we don't have a much picture, I mean the group photos or family photos, but I have some individual pictures with my family members, and I just love to collect all the pictures and memories, even though they don't like taking photos. So I can say these are the pictures, and yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. So questions you guys have for Nusrat from Bangladesh. I was just doing some reading on Bangladesh and on Cameroon before this, just to learn more about the countries. Joe,
Well, thank you for the presentation, but you didn't tell anybody what the records were for.
Oh yeah, I think I was very, I mean, every time I was very hurry to finish the presentation and everything. Yeah, so it was my first world record. It was about stacking coin in 1 minute, and it was earlier it was 69, and then I did 71 in 1 minute. And the next one, it was about eating rice grains by chopstick, and I think I'm pretty good at using chopstick. I can hold everything, even a very little, a small amount of thing I can pick it. So I think it was just about maybe 20, earlier it was 25, and then I did 27 individual. Yeah.
So how do you figure out, Nusrat, what you're going to decide to do for the, do you like figure, how do you figure out what you're going to go for in terms of Guinness records to break?
I mean, how I pick the topics or how I pick the categories.
Yep.
Okay, I think when I see any sort of Guinness World Records or anything, and I feel like yes, I can do that because everything is depends on the practice, and it take a lot of time to practice. And I can still remember my first Guinness World Record. It took around 7 to 8 months to practice. So it's not about like I'm good at picking coin or I'm good at just chopstick. It's I would say like it's always having a skill, and I really love it. Every time I love to learn the new skill, even something maybe different or maybe very difficult. And I can say right now, the thing I'm just practicing is very difficult, but I am just optimistic and I believe that I can do that. So that's the process. And it may take longer time. Maybe it can take 1 year, 2 years, it doesn't matter. So, but I always believe like, yeah, I can. So that's the thing how I pick, and it's all about my interest, and it's all about my willpower, I can say.
Others, questions? Tice, your husband, if you don't mind introducing yourself, sir.
Hi, Dr. Luckler. My name is David. So it's a pleasure to be on the call with everyone. I've heard such wonderful things about it, so I'm glad I was able to make it. So thank you.
Awesome. We're glad you're with us. Did you have a question for Nusrat?
I did. I know that you now have a new government there. So how is everything working out with the new government, which is completely different than what has happened the last 50 or so years between the two rival political parties? You now have charted a new path. How is that working?
I
I
think it's
also
working
visited
good.
Bangladesh in 2011. So I was
Oh,
actually
okay.
there in 2011. And so it's interesting to hear your perspective now.
Yeah, okay. And I think, yeah, I think it will take time because it was in a circle. I would say that circle was totally corrupted and it was very different. So now our new government is just trying to recover everything. So I believe like it will take time. So I can't say like I want to see the improvement or all the things within a 6 months or within a year. So we believe like it will take time. And but I would say like it's changing and also it's improving. But I'm not sure about because the other parties, the opponent parties, they want the election very soon. So if it happens, then I don't think so. Like there will be much change for us, and it will be again same as like the earlier resign. So I don't know, but I think it's changing. And if this government is established for 2 or 3 years, then we can say like we can have a good or maybe something improvement in my country.
Just to so for the little I know about this, and David, thanks for bringing this up because it's a pretty important question. But from my understanding of things, essentially for the last like 30 years or so, it's been a competition between, actually, interestingly, two women for the presidency. They've been back and forth. And then over the last 15 years or so, it was, I guess, between the two, perhaps the more corrupt one who prevailed until last year when she was overthrown by the people. So Bangladesh is in a period of transition. But you may have heard of a guy named Mohammed Yunus. I think he won the Nobel Peace Prize. I can't remember,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
so he's quite well known, and he's now the interim president, if I understand correctly, of Bangladesh. So, and he's trying to kind of help to make things better. So it's good to hear that things seem to be improving from your perspective. Other questions for Nusrat? Our interns, you guys should be totally asking questions on
Um,
anything. Jocelyn.
I think if it's not too personal, in the topic of family, you shared that your mother was a bit ill. I think how you not like get by, I guess, but I've definitely had my moments of taking care of my parents, and mind you, I'm like 21 barely. So there's definitely that pull of like looking out for our family, and especially like in certain cultures, it's definitely an expectation almost to do that. And so I guess what are your thoughts on like taking care of family? Has that affected you a lot in any way? If you don't mind saying.
Nusrat, did you understand the question? Because
Oh,
there,
I didn't understand actually.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. She's wondering about kind of cultural differences, a really good question about cultural differences in caring for elders. I think it was really, or caring for other family members. And she noted that your mom is suffering from COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and just wondering if I'm understanding you correctly, Jocelyn, what your own relationship and kind of expectations are with regards to whether or not you care for your elders or your mom in this case. Is that right, Jocelyn?
Yeah, and just, I mean, I guess the expectation is that like we should take care of our parents, and I mean, I agree, of course. Um, so I guess it's more of like your experience with that, if you don't mind sharing, and or like any specific practices or saying that you've grown up with, relating to like, oh, you should always take care of like your elders, or like your parents saying like, oh, when I'm older, like now it would be your turn to take care of me, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I think yes, we have this expectation here in my society and also here in Bangladesh, especially the parents, they expect from their kids that when they will get older and that kids will take care of themselves. But I would say in my case, my parents, I would say like they're much more smarter. They always focus on my career, on my profession and everything. But I always try to take care of themselves. And in fact, I'm living very near to home. I mean, near to my parents' home. So I often visit them, and I'm the only kid. So definitely I have responsibility to take care of themselves. And so I usually visit 2 or 3 times in a week, and it's very near to me. And also most of the time they also stay in my home as I'm also living alone. So that's the thing. And but in my culture, yes, definitely parents expect. But right now the condition has changed. Now, right now we can say the children, they exactly don't like taking care of their parents. I feel like it's because they're more workaholic and their mentality also changed, more materialistic, and they're always focusing on themselves. And when even the parents, they are suffering. A lot of parents I have seen, and their elderly care center where we can see people are suffering. Even their children, they are even not asking their well-being in a year. So that's the situation. I would say like it has changed nowadays, and but earlier it was very close. I mean, we people were very close to our elder people.
Tice.
Thank you for answering that. I have a question about just family structures. You mentioned your dad was a migrant worker. So wondering, did he just go to another area in Bangladesh? Did he have to leave Bangladesh? And is this frequently are men, whether that's fathers or brothers, having to go into migrant work, which then separates families often?
Yeah, yes, it's very common. Here we have, I would say, like a lot of migrant worker, and mostly they are living in the Middle East, and But I think my father, and he was a migrant working in Malaysia, and he worked in a pharmaceutical company, and he stayed there almost I guess 11 years. And when I was just only 3 months, and he just left the family and then moved to the Malaysia. And when I started around, I think maybe when I was around 8 years old, and he just backed. And that was the first time I saw my father, and I can remember. And then again, he just moved to his workplace. And then again, he just back to the Bangladesh permanently. And it was around maybe when I was 12 years old. So, and it's very common here. And I would say like the men, and especially the male, and they sacrifice their time and everything because of their family. Mostly they go to the other countries for working purposes, and it's very common.
So do you what so I'm just thinking about gender roles. So it sounds like there are probably a lot of strong women out of necessity since the men are away working. So is there some difference in maybe over time in gender roles between men and women, or fathers and mothers?
Yes, yeah, I think it's now changing, and nowadays women, they are also like to work a lot, and also they, especially these days, they prefer to, if they move to the another country, they prefer to go with their whole family instead of just going to alone, or maybe just only for the work. They prefer to migrate for the whole family. And if they are not like that, especially the women, they prefer to work. And it's changing nowadays. But I would say the migrant worker, especially if I talk about who they are living in the or working in the Middle East, mostly they're from the very, I would say, the middle class family, and they need money, and that's why they just move to the that place. And in that case, if I just research about their families, and mostly the women's of that family, they actually don't work. So they stay at home, and they are always just, I would say, they believe that the male person will earn everything, and they will just handle all the family members and their exercise and everything. But nowadays, if I talk about the educated women, now they love to work.
I do want to remind you, so Adrian is taking attendance, and among other things, he's charged with identifying your email, and I can't remember what else. But Adrian, do you want to just chime in as to what you need from who?
Yeah, for sure. If you guys would, the main things we are looking for are your name. I have everyone's name. Where you're tapping into across the world.
In other words,
Email and
what city and country you're from?
correct. Email, and if you have a Facebook, that would be wonderful. You can drop it in the chat, or you can privately message myself or Jocelyn Vasquez, and we can do it for you. So, thank you.
Great. I want to get back to because to something that you said about your mom. So she has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and Nusrat in previous years. Nusrat's been with us for I think at least 3 years. And
I think it's more than 4 years.
Oh, is
I
it?
have involved in 2021. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, fantastic. It's great to have you with us, and so you've talked about climate change because so Bangladesh is one of these places that's particularly affected by climate change. And it's really densely populated. It's a relatively small country with a big population, about 171 million people, from what I heard, what I read today. And I'm wondering if you feel that there's a relationship to some extent between health issues that either your family has experienced, and because I think you've talked about this and it's worth exploring, that your family has experienced and the changes that are happening in the weather.
Yes, yes. I would say I didn't tell the whole story of how my mother, she got the COPD. So I would say like when we lived in the suburb area, now we are not living in the suburb area. So when we lived in the suburb area, and at that moment, usually in Bangladesh, and there was a type, I would say, the pattern of cooking. It was like wooden based oven, and that usually we use wood or different types of things to cook. And it was this type of oven based on the mud, and I would say like wooden based oven. So that's exactly not good for the health, and we didn't know that, and it just releases different sort of particles and gases especially, and that's the main reason of having this problem. And we didn't know that, and my mother, she used to cook by this process. And when it was very severe, and then we went on the doctor, and my doctor and I, we just visited different types of doctor, and no one were just recognized her problems. And then one of the doctors, and she asked like her lifestyle and everything about the cooking process and their food habit and everything. And then she said like it was the reason of that cooking process. And she just said like immediately you should stop this. And then we just stopped this. And then my mother, and she's now still, she's on the treatment, and she's just trying to recover. So it was that reason. So I think it's really important to having the education on environmental pollution and also climate change. And because there are a lot of people still they're just using this process for their cooking, and mostly in the village areas, because they have a lot of trees and they burn this sort of wood to process their food and also processing for their cooking, and they still don't know this. So it's really important, and they should use the eco-friendly cooking style or the cooking process. So it's really important, I would say. And that's how it affects on my family members. And except this, I can give you 100 of examples. And even I can say it's not only about my family, but also the families of Bangladesh, and not even in Bangladesh, also the other countries. I can say almost all the people directly and indirectly, they are affected by the climate change. Maybe they don't know, maybe they are not, their problem is not recognized, but someday they will really understand this. And when they will get this problem, especially the health related issue, they will understand that is the problem of climate change. And also even in my case, and here the water is also not good, and as there's so many germs, and that also creates some sort of contagious diseases, and also the stomach problem and other problems. So it's very common here, and especially the part I'm living right now, it's the southern part, and it's the most affected area in Bangladesh. And we are supposed to flooded by 2000 maybe 40 or 50, and people, the scientists and the meteorologists, they are saying like there will be no land in this place, I mean in this area. So we don't know that's the situation. And as it's surrounded by the rivers and oceans, so we often get the floods, and I would say all sort of natural disaster, including cyclone, super cyclone, and everything. And it's a sort of, I would say, like the part of our life. We are just surviving in every day and every month. Yeah, it's still now, right now, it's raining, heavily raining, and also the crops are not prepared well, and the farmers, they are suffering a lot. So that's the situation.
Sorry,
Oh, I
guys.
can't hear
Sorry.
you.
Yeah, sorry. Nusrat is clearly passionate about this stuff. She's actually, so we have like five different issues that we're focusing on that are having big bang impacts on families: war, poverty, climate change, gender-based violence, and the internet. And Nusrat is kind of one of our environmentalists, as well as our family diplomats, focused on kind of the ways in which climate change is having a big impact on her family and her country. So, we are going to transition at some point. Actually, so Adrian had a question, and if you can answer it in the chat, Nusrat, which is
Okay.
what is your next Guinness Book of World Records goal? That would be great. And so we're going to transition to Chia, who is again joining us from United Arab Emirates, but he's actually from Cameroon. And I think Chia, you're going to explain why you moved to the United Arab Emirates, and I'm going to show your slides. Let me share in a moment. Hold on a second. Okay, let me share. And Chia, go ahead and start. Oh, and Chia, you may be muted. I don't know if you're there. You are. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. As you know, my name is Chia Terence. Currently here in the Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, from Cameroon. Not just because I like to travel out here. I came here because we have some political issue in my country, and there was a lot of movement up and down from one place to the other. So I choose to come here. And also, even here, there is nothing like refugee. They have their rule, their laws here. They don't have anything like a refugee. So even you are coming here like a refugee, you have to come and work hard, then to earn something to take care of yourself and your family also. So the picture you see there, that is the political issue that our home was burned down. And here is my family. Actually, this is my dad. She late. He's of late now. May his soul rest in peace. And yeah, this is our niece, small, because my dad is he was like a king with a lot of wives. So we will go on. I will show you guys uh, more details about that. Next slide, please.
Yep. Hold on a second. Here you go.
Yeah, so you see the photo, my dad sitting right at the right corner. In the middle is Onel, my elder sister son. At the left side is my father's junior brother. So the wives, the ladies, the mothers you are seeing here, these are my father. Actually, my father had 5 wives, and here you can see 3 of them. The first one standing, the second one is my mom, and the third one. So the two, probably I couldn't post them because of some 1 or 2 reasons. Yeah, but I will still come up with their photos when we talk, when I will discuss with them. So yeah, so this at the end you will have a judge by yourself to know to see the level of poverty in the family. So my father, you see, he was just a farmer, just a simple farmer, not even like just a simple farmer, and not having any profession. Even my mother, my stepmother, they were just housewife and just working their farm just to have food to take them for one season to the other. So yeah, next slide, please. So yeah, when you see here, here in the hospital is my mom, but now she's very fine. The grandmom you see is the mother of my mother. So even now, I think last week I communicated with her. She is still very strong, and she can remember things that I did for her long ago. I was surprised, and really, it baffled me. It was shocking. So at the right, you can see I'm the one sitting with my elder sister. We were at the hospital in Limbe. It's called Limbe Hospital. There is a city in Cameroon. It's called Limbe. So I took her to the Limbe Hospital because she was sick, and finally she is of late now. So we had a good time. We went to Limbe Beach. That is where you can eat fish from the water. Maybe they just roast some fish for you. We had a good time there, and with her, that was our last time together. So yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, you see here, this is my on the left. This is my junior brother, Damian. In the middle, my elder sisters, my elder sister, Eukarya, and my follower, the lady, Odette, the one at the right side is my direct follower. Is called Odette. She's called Odette. She's married and she has 3 kids now. And the one standing at the right side is still my brother, my junior brother. It's called Godfrey. Godfrey, and all of them are there back in Cameroon. This, you see, this is his profession, big mechanic. This one is electrician or the weather. Yeah, he was so professional in weather. Yeah. So next slide, please.
I think that's it. Yeah, Chia.
Okay. Yes. So yeah. So as I said, at the level we are right now, because of the movement here and there, so we actually I didn't really. My presentation was about poverty and the internet. Yeah. So at the level we are here right now, the level of internet that is affecting, especially me and my family, regarding the communication not is not something you can talk about. It's really hard. And as I said in the beginning, at the end of the presentation, you will judge the level of poverty in my family. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shia, thank you. Questions you guys have? I would imagine you would have a lot because there's lots that
Yeah.
could be asked here. Um,
Yeah.
if you could, it would be helpful if you can raise your hand electronically, as Joe just did. Joe.
Hey, Chia. Um,
Hi,
I
Joe.
have a question about the relationship of the family members with the multiple wives. So, what's the relationship of all of the children with the wives that are not their mother?
The last one. Come again.
So
What's the relationship with the with all the children with the mothers with the wives that are not their mothers? So and do they all live together? Is there a hierarchy? Is there? It's just very interesting to. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just curious about your relationship with that and how that's handled.
Yeah. You know, in Africa, or I will say in Africa, especially in my country, it's very common. Not in this our present days, but in those days, it's very common to see a man with 3 wives, 2 wives, 4 wives, 5 wives. So the relationship from me is just simple. Like you just know this is your stepbrother, this is your stepbrother, and you move along with your activities, and they move along with their own activities. So when there is an issue, maybe in the family, you even get to know more family. You get to know more of them. For example, if there is a celebration or a funeral or something, so they have to come together. That's where you get to know more of them. You know most of them because you don't grow up together. Basically, at this point, when you have so many wives, basically you cannot take care of them because you don't have serious thing you are doing. You don't have money to take care of them. So what happened might be from your mother's side, might be the uncle might pick some of them and go with them. Might be from the father side also the uncle come and take some of the children and go with them. So to take care of them or send them to school or work or something, stuff like that. So at that point, you guys, you just know you have a stepbrother somewhere when
So I get just a follow-up question. So your mother is only responsible for the children
and
that she has and not
this
responsible. Sorry.
I think his connection's coming in and out,
No.
but so it may take a little while for it to come back. But
issue you come to.
Chia, if you hear us, you may want to turn off your video while you're speaking, because it's probably best for your connection to be able to hear you better. Um, while I think his connection is waking up, uh, I think I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to remember is some things to tell you about Chia. Um, and one of the things, the one questions I had for him, Chia, can you hear us? Okay, he's should be back on in a moment, I think, I hope. Um, but so as far as I know, he's a refugee. But what puzzles me is that most of his family is still in Cameroon. A little bit of background about Cameroon. So they were a colony of the Germans up until World War One, and then essentially after World War One, the Germans lost and had to cede essentially to it was a mandate by the League of Nations, I guess, at the time, that the French and the English should take over essentially what is now Cameroon. And so the French got three-fourths, I think, of it, and the English got one-fifth. But that legacy of kind of partition still endures and is affecting the tensions in the country between the English speaking and the French speaking portions of the country. So I think that's why he left. But Chia, can you? Well, we want to get back to Joe's question. I don't know if you heard, but then also just talk about why you're in United Arab Emirates and explain a little bit about why your house was burned down. But get back to Joe's question first about there.
It's really about cross parenting. Are there cross parenting responsibilities from any of the wives, or are they solely responsible for the children that they have had?
Yes, because of the situation, they are willing to really take up responsibility, but there is no means.
Yeah, so there's that part, the poverty part, but I think what Joe is asking is, are moms only responsible for their own kids, and or do they take care of all the other kids of all the other moms too?
No, actually, the mom will only struggle to take care with their own kids. But when it's about maybe food for food in my country, like in the village, they have a lot of food because they work every day. They go to farm and work their food stuff and keep for all the season. So it will take so for food they can take care with all the kids, but when it comes to like financially or focusing on your kid to know how they're well keeping, you have to focus on your kids only.
Gotcha. Tice, you had your hand raised.
Yes, sorry. So I think you may have answered it a little. I was wondering if when you take another wife, do you have to take care of them equally? But it sounds like you mentioned that sometimes the uncles or other members will step in if the husband cannot take care of the families. So I was also wondering then, so what is the benefit if you're taking wives, but you can't afford to take care of all of the families? Is there some benefit for the woman to just be married?
That is the question. Even I don't have the answer myself. why you keep why you keep like wives like one two, yeah, like I said, back then they just enjoy having more wives, having more kids. But in nowadays it's hard because you think about yourself, think about your wife before the kid, you are already full. So you don't have You don't have to go for a second one again. Yeah. In nowadays, it's not common anymore. Yes. So
Adrian?
they were just enjoying having more wife, having more children. When they have more children, they feel like they are rich, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's their feelings. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Adrian?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I just want to relay two questions in the chat so that we don't overlook
Thank
them.
you.
Mari asked, is there a name for the skirts the women in your family wear? And there's one more after this question.
Come again.
Is there a name for the skirts the women in your family wear?
The dresses that the women wear.
Mm, mm. Actually, no. There is nothing. There is no specific wear for the women, but we have a tradition. I will come up with a traditional wear one day here that everyone wear. There is nothing like special, but
Okay.
we have our traditional wear.
Yeah, but
Understood.
is there an issue? Mari's wondering about a name. Is there a name for that particular kind of dress?
Actually, there is no name.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Adrian,
Thank
is
you.
there another question?
There was, and then the last question I have from the chat is from Begum. Do you want to go back to your home country when things change? And do you have faith that a change is possible? Or do you plan to just stay in the United Arab Emirates for the rest of your life?
Yeah. Thank you for the question. I actually plan to go back
Okay.
because things are getting back. Things are a bit slow down now, like compared to before, but not really good in good condition. Because as I said in the presentation regarding the internet problem, where my family is right now, to communicate with them, you have to make an appointment that okay, on this day, you will be on the network so we can talk because they don't have access to internet there, and it's really really a troublesome situation that they even emergency uh, route to the hospitals it's not easy. So those things are really bothering. They're in the rural area, suburb area, and yeah, just for their safety because some places, cities sometimes kind of troublesome with the shooting because the situation is like there are the militaries are fighting with the freedom fighters. So chaos everywhere sometimes is unpredictable how it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
And the
You
military,
might you might even like traveling to another city, you find yourself spending like 3 4 days because of roadblocks because of this situation. Yeah.
and so the military, when you refer to the military, it's from the French-speaking portion of the country, and the freedom fighters, you call the freedom fighters, are the English speaking portion. Is that correct?
That, yes, correct. The military is the government military as a general as Cameroon military,
Right.
which include the French and the English also inside the military.
Yeah.
And when you come to the freedom fighters, they are only from the English side.
Yeah. And by the way, so speaking of, long-lived presidents slash dictators, their president has been president, I think, since 1982. And he's
Exactly.
still in office. Tice, did you have a question? Because your hand is still electronically raised, but we do need to finish up here because we're at the hour.
Yeah, I just had a quick
David.
question. Are you able to work in United Arab Emirates? Are you able to have a job and support yourself there?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, yes, even though it's hard, when I came here before, I joined restaurant. I was like serving in the restaurant, but as times goes on, I I try to change things around, and now I am like an agent for the real estate company, one of the real estate company here in Abu Dhabi. So I'm there now, and I'm trying to improve with the work I'm doing. I think that is okay for me now. I'm struggling to see how to improve in this area.
So he's now in real estate.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, so just wanted to share with you. This is the advantage of having Facebook is and being connected to you guys on Facebook is I can
yeah,
quickly
yeah.
kind of
My
share photos.
Facebook page is right. I think it's here already. Yeah, I will share here in the chat group.
Yeah. And thank
Yeah.
you for doing that. So Nusrat and Chia, thank you guys for sharing. As usual, a rich conversation, really interesting. Still lots of questions, particularly that I have for you, Chia. But we'll have more opportunities to talk. So I just want to remind you that these are monthly dialogues. The next one is on the first Sunday of June, which is June 1st, and it will be at the same time and the same Zoom link. And Joe, who's on screen with us, is going to be talking to us about his fascinating family. By the way, Joe's gotten national attention for the work he's done creating this family. And so maybe, yeah, when you talk, you should kind of prepare some links that people can kind of watch because he's got no lack of stuff to share. But part of the reason why I love having Joe with us is because to me, he's a model of a caring father, like multiplied, several times because of how many boys he's adopted as teenagers from foster care. Um, so, uh, so Joe will be talking, and then we haven't figured out the other person as yet, but it will be somebody not from the United States because we want to have diversity with this. So thanks everybody for joining us, and goodbye to tearful goodbye to some of our interns who are leaving us, Mari, Adrian, and Lucine. But hello to new interns coming on very soon, and Jocelyn and Angel, you guys will be meeting those new interns soon enough. All right, everybody. Thank you for your time, and David, great to meet you. Tice, thanks for bringing the family element. Bye, everybody.